few weeks ago I went to an auction and I bought a whole box of cameras, including a Yashica 635 that I talked about a few weeks ago, and another Yashica, a more recent Yashica, this FX 103, and it's 103 program, and it's from about 1985 when cameras were beginning to have more features. They were still manually focusing cameras on the whole, but they were getting aperture priority and some program modes on. And the Yashica at this stage were with contacts. They were making contacts cameras, they were making these Yashicas, which was slightly cheaper, but the lenses were the same mount. Now, let's have a look at this camera. I have recently had a film in it, and actually it still has got a film in. Oh no, I've taken the film out. Right, you can see here the electronic shutter. The film goes in here, across here, and loads. Takes 2 litre L44 batteries at the bottom here for the meter. So you load up your film, and what have we got? You will see here we have obviously the shutter here in the middle, and we have shutter speeds from bulb up to 1000. We have a AE function, which is aperture exposure, so you set the aperture on the lens and the camera automatically sets the shutter speed. And we also have a program where I believe you put the lens onto 22 and it will then work out a shutter speed and an aperture for you, and the HP program which gives you a high shutter speed. So, and of course, as I said, the AE mode, which you choose the aperture and the camera sets the shutter speed. And then you also got these, what was referred to as manual, but you have the little LED in the window, so you can match the aperture to the shutter speed. So if you are on 125, there you get a little LED flashing array, and whatever aperture you are on, it corresponds, it flashes until you get it to the shutter speed you've decided on, and then it won't flash any longer. So let's say I'm on 125 and at f16 it's saying it wants a 30th of a second. I move these up 2 stops until I get 5.6, which is the shutters, which then says 125, if that makes sense. So these cameras were famous for the leverette going, and quite often they look in a bit of a sorry state often, and you can see this one has had some repairs. You can, I think, get the leverette online. You definitely can with the contacts cameras, but quite often these are mechanically sound. I had to clean the battery connections, but once I did that, it seemed to operate quite well. Let's see what the film was like when I actually developed it. For this test, I went to the small town of Swannies in Dorset, and it was a bit of a cloudy day, and I wasn't sure how the results were going to be. However, I was quite pleased with this film. Swannies is a wonderful coastal town with quite a rich history, and it's got lots of interesting buildings and things to photograph. And as I said, it was a rather dull day, but the camera reacted well. The lens isn't the best quality lens. However, as you can see in this rather dull light on the station, I get the detail, I get the sharpness, the exposures, and I was mainly using it on aperture priority, although sometimes I did actually put it on program. But as you can see, nearly, well, you can't see the contact sheet, but nearly all the photographs came out. The camera was easy to hold, it was easy to use. I had some issues getting the camera working in the first place. I had to clean the contacts for the battery, and I had a couple of lenses I tried which seemed to have issues, but actually the new batteries made all the difference in the end, and this was a great camera to use. And I wasn't actually expecting it to be a great camera. I've got a couple of Contacts of the same era which I really like using. They've got a real feel of quality and they are ergonomically very easy to use. I wasn't going, before using the Yashica, I thought the Yashica was going to feel a bit cheap. However, it was very, from the viewfinder point of view, it was incredibly similar to the Contacts, and you can see the direct some of the similarities between the cameras. Remember, Yashica made the Contacts camera, the late Contacts cameras. As I said, this lens, I wasn't expecting much from it. It's a 35 to 70 zoom, but it reacted very well. This is the lens on ride. This is a monument to King Alfred. And apparently there was a battle out there. It's a wonderful little place at Swannis. This is a fascinating building. Some say it originally came from London. A lot of buildings did come from London. There was a quarry trade and stone went up to London, and sometimes buildings came back as ballots. I also heard it was used as a photographic studio, but that's another story. I quite like this little photograph of some stairs and a bicycle. I really enjoyed using this camera. I was quite surprised by it. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.